this football season, I think just put the nail in the coffin on the long-term rebuild. We have seen teams go from the cellar to the Super Bowl, like the New England Patriots. And you've seen a program in the basement of college football just win a national championship. And they've both done it in less time than what it is taking for the Titans to build a new dome. Cignetti, year 2, champion. Year 1, he's in the playoff. Mike Vrabel, year 1, headed to the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. Mike McDonald, year 2, headed to the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. Drake May, year 2. Sam Darnold, year 1 with Seattle. I mean, the patience thing, it's dead. It's over. You don't need to go buying homes if you're a coach. Some rarely do anyway, but those with families start to, plan for the long term. Put our kids in school. We're going to search around. We're going to build our home. No, I mean, the home will still be built by the time you're being replaced. And I once thought this was unfair. Now it's just part of the job. Coaches are admitting it because coaches are doing this and then laughing all their way to championships. Cignetti in Indiana, 2 years ago, that program, afterthought. And now unbeaten, national championship. And now we talk about it like we're not surprised. We still should be shocked that this happened. And they beat the system, even if that's the argument, and I don't buy that. They've done it better than those that were running the system, that created the system. And in the NFL, Mike Vrabel takes over. Mike McDonald takes over. They've crushed it in free agency. They've done a great job through the draft. And they've taken over in New England, it was a disaster, 4-win team. And now you've got a former coach of the year who just won the Pro Football Writers Association Coach of the Year, 14-3 record, now headed to the Super Bowl in San Francisco. And then Mike McDonald, number 1 seed in the NFC in the year number 2, in the best division in football. They don't need 3 seasons. They need 17 games, man. And it's not a fluke. I mean, both of these teams, week after week, did what they did. And now we're in an era where we're seeing not just terrible franchises, but long-term greats, consistent franchises, stable ownership, kicking their coaches out. We're at the level where the Bills and the Ravens, and the level and the number of wins that they give every year, that's not good enough. The SEC, it's not good enough to just be on the doorstep of the college football playoff. They had 6 openings. James Franklin, you could win at the level they did at Penn State, not good enough. Mike Gundy was the face of Oklahoma State for 21 years. Peace out. Brian Callahan didn't even have a full season with a rookie that he was a part of drafting after a 1-5 start with one of the worst rosters in football. Ownership has made it clear. Ownership, by the way, in college and in the pros. There is no year number 2 if the situation today doesn't get better by tomorrow, within the next 24 hours, not the next 24 months. And the bridge quarterback, you don't need that either. Drake May's throwing for over 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns. Sam Darnold in Seattle. He played like an MVP last year, and now he's a part of an MVP leadership on offense. And he's headed to the Super Bowl. I mean, again, this is no longer the excuse. Oh, we got year 1 of our quarterback. We're going to build around him. Chad, this is now just reload. There is no more rebuild word. You better reload. And if you come in with your plan, it needs to be able to, you got to be able to hit the ground running. There are examples right now, and every year there is a cellar dweller in the NFL that then goes to number 1 in the division and makes the playoffs. But it's rare to see the jump that we've seen in New England. But if you start looking around, Jacksonville, Denver's a good example. There are examples of teams that are making the clear jump with coaches that came in very early and are not just recreating.
Chicago.
They're just demanding, like, this is what we're going to do. And you're on board or you're not. And you don't need a year 2, year 3 to tell if things are going to be on track. They're either, it's on the rails or it's not. And the ridicule that and I'm guilty of this, the ridicule of owners not having patience, I understand it now just based on this last 12 months of football. And it's everywhere you look. It's a young man's game. And if it's not a young man's game, it is a young tenured game. You don't need to be a 10-year vet at a program to instill a culture. And it's rare to find Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. We won't see those again. Not at the level we're seeing, unless you win Super Bowls early on and then you become the face of the program and the culture, the face of the franchise, more than just the head coach who's probably coaching for a different team 5 years from now.
Hey, if you like the channel, become a season ticket holder for Hot Mic by clicking the subscribe button below and join the conversation in the comments section. Agree, disagree, we'll join you there in the chat. Now back to Hot Mic.
Yeah, well said. I'd also like to take this time to congratulate the Tennessee Titans on firing a guy who went to the Super Bowl in year one at his next job. So great job with that.
Yep.
Likely going to be the NFL Coach of the Year. And everybody knows Mike Vrabel's great across the league. They knew it then, and they know it now even more so. I also, on the flip side of this, because you're right, the slow rebuild is out the window now because we've seen countless examples of teams turning it around quickly. Ben Johnson with the Bears, they weren't terrible a year ago, but to jump to that division champion level and what they were this year was a large jump for them. Hudden, you mentioned the Broncos, another really good example with Sean Payton in a really quick rebuild. Or
with the quarterback.
A surge.
With the last quarterback taken in the first round with 6 quarterbacks.
And here's the thing about a surge. It can go both ways.
You're right.
This is what I want to see with NFL owners is once you get the surge up, Patriots this year as a good example. In the Super Bowl, let's say next year they go 7-10. They have some injuries. They have a step back. Some other teams in the division get better, and they go. But is Mike Vrabel on the hot seat in year 3 because the big step back? These things work both ways now.
But not after this year.
You can get good quick,
yeah,
and you can get bad quick. That's an extreme example with Vrabel, but we've seen it where because of some bad luck with injury or the quarterback's not developing at the rate that you want.
That's right.
You get really good quick, then you get really mediocre quick, or you go from good to bad quickly. It can go the same way. That yo-yo effect in the league, you can get to where you're a playoff team fast, and you can be to the bottom of the league pretty quick also
fast
if you don't play it right. So the moment that happens, if you've seen success,
that's a great point.
If you're the owner, do you hold on and have patience? Or do you fire and say, now I got to go find the next person to build it quick?
Well, think about this, though. The Titans are a good example right here in Nashville. They decided to keep Brian Callahan for year 2 with the number 1 overall pick, bringing in a quarterback with an offensive-minded head coach, a passing game-minded head coach, a quarterback background, and paired him with the rookie for 6 games before firing him. They should have parted ways with him last offseason if that were going to be the patience level, right? Mm-hmm. Because then you start the calendar with your coach and quarterback, your new coach. Now you've reset the quarterback for a year. It's a wasted year as far as like what you intend to do with the QB. Now, the GM was there whenever they drafted, but you get my point here. Same thing happened with Caleb Williams. Same thing happened with Drake May. So I think in many cases, sometimes owners are maybe a year late than a year early, as crazy as that may sound. And I think that was the case in Baltimore when they made the move with Harbaugh. I think he wanted to be a year early instead of a year late with the window that they have with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and others. So I look at what we saw there and think, okay, maybe he's trying to jump the hill and get over the hill. Same thing in Buffalo, man. The window's open, and teams that are bringing in the young coach and having success, that's what they want. They want to try to roll the dice too. I don't want to say it's a crapshoot because I do think there's a model to who you're bringing in, who can stand in front of the room and lead. But it's the plan, it's the execution, it's the ability to delegate instead of having to do everything on your own, knowing what you don't know. I think that's the crucial part of it. Liam Cohen didn't look like he had a clue whenever he took over Jacksonville. The Duval and everything. I mean, it looked hokey. But whatever he's done behind the scenes has resonated because Jacksonville was rolling over the second half of the season. Denver's got a model there with a future Hall of Fame head coach. And Chicago and now in New England, they've got a culture that you walk in the door and it's just different. Everybody else is kind of the same. And if you're the same, you're being replaced, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to OutKick Hot Mic.
Daily content and more at OutKick Hot Mic on YouTube.